car in the last 2 weeks. But I'm telling you this is an issue that hasn't gone away. Since I've been in law enforcement, I've never seen anything like it. It's a year and a half old, and people are as mad as hell today as they were a year and a half ago, and we need them to be mad as hell 5 more months and then take it to the polls. We can do this. Personally, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. You probably can find something on Facebook or on Twitter. I grew up in Chemung County. It's a small rural county. I've hunted and fished since I was a kid. Am I a gun nut? No, I'm not a gun nut, but I know when my rights are being infringed upon. And the safe fact is infringing upon my rights. Everyone's asking me, boy, do you have the experience to be lieutenant governor? You come from a small county. My budget at the sheriff's office is about $14 million, probably very small compared to my fellow sheriffs up here today. But you know what? All you need to be lieutenant governor is somebody with common sense. It's that simple. When we hear all these candidates and all these incumbents who are already in office talk about protecting our Second Amendment rights, you wonder how something like the SAFE Act can happen. But I'm just telling you, I don't want to take up any more time. I'll be happy to talk to you one-on-one when we're done. But remember, November 4th is an important date. We can do this. You know what? We're not traveling to California charging $25,000 a plate dinner like the governor is. We can do it. We can take this to the governor on November 4th and show him that Albany can't treat us like this. Thank you very much.
Before I introduce our congressman, I want to have them stand up to be recognized. The officers of the Brunswick Sportsman's Club. The president, Scott Clemens. Rich Garhart, first vice president. Nelson Darling, treasurer. Darrell Conway, board member. Mark Livesey, secretary. And the chairman of the legislative committee, Phil Minnesau. I fool around a lot with motorcycles and stuff, and there's a lot of parts in an engine. But Phil's the spark plug, and without the spark plug, this doesn't happen. So, thank you, Phil, for all the work you've done. After serving us in uniform for 24 years and achieving the rank of colonel, deploying overseas more than once, he now serves us as a congressman. That might even be more dangerous than being deployed. But one thing is for sure, Chris Gibson's dedication to this country didn't waver in Kosovo. It's not going to waver in Washington. Chris?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Listen, I'm excited to be here today. Thank you to my colleagues who stood up previously, and I'm honored to be with you. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just start with this. When you stand up for the Second Amendment, when you stand up for the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, you're not an extremist. You're an American. You're an American. And I will tell you what, we just came through Memorial Day weekend. And you know, it's such a solemn time. And I think about those who I fought with, those that didn't make it back. And I think about those sacrifices and how hard it is to make meaning out of it. Because for those families, nothing we ever say or do is going to fill that hole. And I think what our meaning to me is that every day, each and every one of us, every day we commit ourselves, when we rise, that we give our God-given all to make this a better community, in a stronger nation, so that this would be a country worthy of those sacrifices. That's what inspires me. And I'll tell you, I never lose sight of how lucky we are. I guess over those years serving in the military, I think I was in about 36 different countries, about 47 different states. To be born American is to win the lottery. The incredible freedoms that we have, for all our challenges, we got challenges, for all those challenges, this is the place in the world, the best hope for freedom and opportunity. And you think about the inspiration that gives the world, and you think about it at the beginning, at the very beginning, you think about founding documents, the Declaration of Independence. So many words. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. You know, there's a tendency today to look back and say, of course, yeah, okay. You know, then, those were radical words. This was the era of divine right of kings. Kings and queens and courts and aristocracy. No radical idea like that just comes into being. We had to fight. You know, Great Britain said, no, you're subjects. You're subjects. We said we're not. We're free men and women. And we fought them. And it was a long fight, by the way. Over 8 years. And by the time Yorktown came along, they just decided to sail away. They sailed away. You know what? They didn't give us much of a chance. They didn't give us any chance at all. They thought we'd beg to bring them back. Never going to be so. This experiment, after all these years, which is truly optimistic, the belief that we can live free, we can be self-governing, this has worked out. And this is why other nations on our best day, why they want to be like us. And what the Declaration inspired our other founding documents, the Constitution of the United States. Yes, we moved our way through the Articles first, that's true. But we worked our way to the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Some of the most eloquent words ever penned in the history of mankind. But they were real as well. It just wasn't philosophy, although it was incredible philosophy. It was real. I mean, King George, he wouldn't let us assemble. No groups of more than 3, because he couldn't trust us, right? We were conspiring to overthrow him and bring our freedom. He didn't let us speak, denied us that freedom of speech, told us how we were going to pray. He marched on our guns, Lexington and Concord. There's a tendency to say, well, the Brits marched on our guns. That was our government. That was our government at the time. He quartered troops in our homes, walked into our homes without even so much as a warrant, made our citizens, made our countrymen at the time, testify against themselves, took property from them without due process of law, sailed them off into the ocean without so much as even charging them. Forget excessive bail, it's ridiculous. Torture, yes indeed. This is my point to you. That Bill of Rights, which we look to, which we hold dear, and which we're about today, is this about the Second Amendment? Oh heck yes it is, but it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. And why I say you're not extremists? Because this is about the Bill of Rights. This is about all of us. Got the sheriff from Albany County here today. Evidence it's not a partisan issue. It goes even beyond that. It's not even a political issue. This is an American issue. In the very fiber of our body. And every generation has a responsibility to renew this and to stand up for this incredible way of life. Incredible way of life. for every Senator Marchione mentioned this, every legislator has to deal with their moment. And I'll tell you, in the Congress, there have been times when the Bill of Rights, when they have marched up against the Bill of Rights, there was an attempt to regulate our freedoms, our privacy, and our freedom of speech. This bill was called SOPA, later became CISPA. It's going to regulate the internet. When I stood up against that, the libertarian right and the liberal left and the rest of the district stood with me. We stood against that. And when I stood against the Patriot Act, and I fought for this country, and I bled for this country, and I would go back again if necessary, but I do not believe that we have to give up our liberty to have security. And that Patriot Act, my friends, has unconstitutional provisions. And when I stood up against that, and my leadership said, Chris, there's no problems with this, and we've learned otherwise. I knew it then when I read it. It was wrong. The roving wiretaps, the Section 215 on business records, you have the right to be reasonably secure in yourself and in your belongings. The government has no right to come surveil you unless they've got probable cause written by a judge. That's what our system is. So I vote no on the Patriot Act, and the libertarian right and the liberal left and the rest of the district came with me. And now when I stand up for the Second Amendment, some want to take a walk. It can't be like this. It just can't be like this. This is about a free people. This is about our Bill of Rights. And this is why it's our charge that when we go forth from here, that we do everything we can to inspire. We are happy warriors who believe in the cause. And we believe in the republic and the voting that goes along with sending our representatives, and we respect that. We recognize that we have to win at the ballot box. And this is why I say this is a majoritarian issue, and this is one for all people. And that's why we have to go out and explain it. Even if you don't own a gun, you should be with us. Be with us because of what we stand for. An optimistic belief that we can live free, a self-governing people with a Bill of Rights to stand behind. This is our mission. This is our time. This is our time. We have to do this. We have to do this together, each and every one of us. I know you got busy lives. I respect that. You're here tonight. Thank you. But we have more to do. We have letters to the editor. We've got to contact our family and friends. We need to let them know what's at stake here. We need to let them know that they can believe. I find when I walk about, I do find folks that are despaired. Americans who are despaired. They think it's beyond hope. Ladies and gentlemen, it is challenging. It is not beyond hope. This is a country that's been through tough times. Even what we're going through now does not rise up to the level of Valley Forge. And in the darkest of days of 1941 and 42, these are challenging times, but our forefathers and foremothers came before us and they overcame. We can do this. We absolutely can do it. We must do it. Let's do it together. Let's get it together in November. Thank you.